Curious, setting the scene. Pre-colonial life in the Philippines took place in a landscape of volcanic peaks, dense jungles, and sudden typhoons. For the Austronesian settlers who inhabited these islands, the surrounding forest was their warehouse. It provided timber for their homes, the food for their tables, and the medicine for their sick. But extracting those resources was a delicate balance. Without a central government or written laws, there was no obvious way to stop a village from over-harvesting a plant or clearing too much timber until it was too late. Instead, these early communities relied on traditional ecological knowledge, a set of survival rules woven directly into the local culture. Community leaders used the fear of the unknown to mark out exactly which parts of the jungle were off-limits. In this way, the monsters lurking in the trees became the first line of defense for the landscape. Consider the Kapre. In local legends, this is a dark, hairy giant that sits high in the branches, smoking a cigar and watching anyone who enters his domain. The Kapre specifically inhabited the forest's oldest massive trees. A logger looking for timber knew that if they struck these trunks with an axe, they risked the giant's retaliation. Protecting these mother trees ensured the canopy remained intact, which stopped soil erosion and kept the entire surrounding ecosystem stable. Deeper in the woods, the mantio was described as an unnervingly tall and lanky figure, often seen leaning silently against towering kapok trees. The mantio served as a guard. His presence in stories kept people from specific, restricted zones. These zones usually contained real physical hazards, like geologically unstable soil or the vents of active volcanic craters. By populating these areas with the Kapre and the mantio, pre-colonial Filipinos managed their timber and their safety without needing a single physical fence. The threat increases with the Benangunan, corpse-like entities with fire burning along their spines that gallop through the dense woods. Lore placed the Benangunan near foul-smelling plants and the thorny, twisted trunks of balete trees. These were often areas choked with toxic flora or stagnant water. By linking these plants to a fiery monster, the myths created an effective quarantine line that kept people away from potential toxins. At the top of the hierarchy was the Magkupo, the guardian of Mount Kanlan. This massive, finned serpent with a rooster's crown was the mountain's final check on human activity. The Magkupo winds itself around tree trunks high in the canopy, waiting to strike anyone who disturbs the silence of the mountain peak. This threat ensures that the deepest, most sensitive parts of the mountain remained entirely untouched by human hands. The Kapre, mantio, Benangunan, and Magkupo translated abstract environmental limits into a form the community could respect. By mapping supernatural threats onto vulnerable natural resources, these stories built a sustainable rhythm between the people and a volatile landscape. The prospect of a monster's wrath dictated where people farmed and what they harvested, keeping human activity within the land's natural limits. The proof of this system's success is in the real-world forests still standing today. If you want to explore more terrifying myths and the hidden history behind them, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for future videos.